I have a cool sword too from the Northman, which I used in my wedding, which is fab. Yeah, you go.
Wait, did you say you used the sword in your wedding?
I cut my wedding cake with my sword from the Northman.
It was pretty badass. I saw it.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I love you guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
God, you guys make my
thing
life
to
easy.
say.
I always start out that way because it's always true. I seriously thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you. To jump into this, I feel like long before the monsters get involved, someone's experience working the gorge will be affected most by who is on the other side. So to have fun starting out, you guys have played some truly amazing characters in your career. If you have to man the gorge, which past characters of yours do you think, if they were on the other side, might make your experience just a little bit more interesting?
Ooh.
I'd say my War Dogs character, because I know he's gonna have a whole mess of guns, and I don't really care where they came from.
I think I would say in terms of getting the job done, probably Furiosa, but she's not the most verbal of characters. I feel like if I wanted some witty repartee, she's not really the person I'm going for that. It's true. It's true. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Thomason. I feel like Thomason would enjoy being alone in that tower. I feel like I'd be happy for her there.
And yeah, I feel like one of the things that your character does that is to me most fascinating is the keeping of a bullet from every kill. She calls it her shame. And not to ask the cliche question of, well, what have you kept from set? But I'd love to know whether it's a physical thing or something that you've maybe carried inside of you. What's the most interesting thing that you've left a character with?
Oh my goodness. I actually have a bullet on a chain from this movie, but I think the sweetest story is the first movie that I ever did, The Witch. I didn't realize that characters were real for me until that movie ended, and so I kept my character's hair ribbons in my bag for a full year because I didn't want to let go of her, and then we had to do reshoots and they didn't have a hair ribbon, and I just pulled it out of my bag and was like,
because you stole them all.
Bam.
That's why they didn't have any left, because you took them all, babe.
But there was a new makeup person, and she was like, damn it, I don't have the hair ribbon, and I was like, wait, I do, and I just pulled it out for her.
See,
So
always
that
take
was
your
sweet.
props. Actors always steal your props.
I have a cool sword too from the Northman, which I used in my wedding, which is fab. Yeah, you go.
Wait, did you say you used the sword in your wedding?
I cut my wedding cake with my sword from the Northman.
It was pretty badass. I saw it.
I stabbed a heart through the middle of it. It was great.
That is the coolest wedding I've ever heard of in my entire life. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Miles, these jobs, I feel like manning the gorge, sort of all knowledge is basically passed down from one predecessor to the next. I'd love to know, as an actor, what's the most important lesson that you've learned from a past co-star that you're excited one day that you think is really important to pass on to the next generation?
I think I've learned so much, and a lot of it hasn't been verbal. You really learn just by watching the way somebody approaches the work and the way certain actors that are one on the call sheet, the way that they treat the other actors, the way they treat the crew, because I always say that I think the tone of a set is really made by the director and number one on the call sheet a lot of the time. And so if the professionalism is very high in that regard on those ends, then you're gonna have a good experience. I've been lucky. I've worked with some really, really wonderful people.
Fair enough. As we wrap up, Miles, if you'll allow me a nerdy question, I host a series here in Chicago called The Moments That Made Us, where I look back on sort of just the iconic movie moments of all time, many of which maybe I didn't do a junket for and I didn't get the chance to sort of talk about. And you and I have never gotten to talk about what is one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Whiplash. And I would love to know your very first moment where J.K. Simmons, where you realize, I guess, just what kind of man he is. I'd love to know just what that day was like on set and how you made it through a day like that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Well, when somebody is giving such, ferocious, beautiful, technically efficient, just violent performance that JK is doing, you really don't have to think, and then you're just in the flow state, and then acting is really easy because it's just you're truly just reacting to what's in front of you. But I don't think people realize the mood on that set between JK and I was very light. I'm sure Damien was running around like a madman because we're shooting a movie in 19 days. But JK and I he would slap me, and they would yell cut, and I would start we would just start laughing, truly. As soon as they yelled cut, okay, and then we would talk about baseball. So that was that.
I feel like I'm now going to see those scenes totally differently, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for you guys. Fit me in your schedule all the time, and I know you have incredibly busy days, but you also do work that makes my job easy because I've got 10,000 more questions I wish I could have asked you. So thank you for always being not just amazing talent, but also very kind to me. I really do appreciate you.
Appreciate you, love. Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.